I'd love to get a sense of how to structure content for a signature talk. I'm a naturopath and I need to toe the line of providing valuable info without delving into actual recommendations, which is not permitted. Signature talk is one way I'm looking to get established in Hubs. Great. Okay, so where are you calling from, Dr. Kamala?
Hi. Hi, Todd. I'm from Toronto. I think I saw you at your last talk. Oh man, I forget the place, but it's really pretty. It was like in the back of this like bookshoppy gift shop thing on Collins
Yeah,
Street in Toronto. Anyways, yeah, it was some community hub. I forget what it's called.
Society Clubhouse.
That's,
When was that?
I think it was like early September,
Yeah, okay.
I
Oh,
think.
this year. Yeah, yeah,
Yes,
nice.
yeah, like less than a month ago,
Great.
maybe. Yeah, yeah, I think so.
Okay,
So
so the
yeah.
structure of a signature talk.
Right. And actually, I think when we were chatting at the end of the session, I think you recommend like it's a good idea to just really develop a good signature talk. I do have a couple like niches, but I'm thinking of developing one like just for a certain group. So one of them is I really love working with kids and with families, especially with kids that have recurring colds and flus, are just constantly sick. The parents are always I've had this experience myself, but the parents are constantly having to last minute find childcare, or they're trying to work from home, have a busy lead a meeting on a work from home phone call, but their kid is coughing and sick and pooping in the corner. So really just wanting to ease that burden because it's so hard to be a parent in general. So we don't need that extra stuff. So anyways, yeah, just wanting to give really good immune foundation for kids, growing kids, particularly toddlers to elementary school age. So I'll give a background. I used to be a resident wellness speaker at a hospital, and I would do a series of different talks, but this was more geared toward adults. In this case, this is more geared toward the parents and caregivers of kids. And they always come with a ton of, what do I do for this? What do you think of elderberry? What do you think of all this? And so obviously I like to blanket it with, I can't give any specific doses or recommendations, but I still want to give valuable information that is beneficial, but for it to not be construed as medical advice or anything like that. And I also don't want to waste anybody's time either. So, because that's a valuable thing. So yeah.
So what kind of events are these you're saying where you're answering these questions?
So I haven't given any yet. I'm developing it now, but previously I would give them it was in a department that I used to work at, a hospital network in Toronto. And so it would be like in boardrooms, totally different audience. I would have AV equipment. We'd have a lot of people pre-register. There was a series of talks they would do about insomnia, digestion, stress, etc. This is a different thing I'm exploring now because I've really honed in on I like to work with the kids. And then so here I'm looking at going to like early on centers or daycare centers, offering it around the time of like pickup. I feel like having it local and in person is more effective than virtual because nobody comes back to watch the virtual. And I feel like when you're working with kids, you also need to be there to be able to meet the kids and for those parents to have trust in you as a healthcare provider. So those are my thoughts in terms of the hubs, like to start with. Yeah.
It's great.
Okay.
I think it's fine. In terms of the structure, the general structure of a signature workshop is one is you tell your story. So in this case, to me, it's the story of like, why are you doing this workshop? What brought you to this that you want to help parents with their sick kids? And generally there's three points on that story. There's the low point, the turning point, the high point. So what was the hardest moment for you related to this? If you struggled with this yourself, what was the turning point? What was the moment where you realized, oh, there's something I can do. It doesn't have to be this way. And then there's the high point, which is, and then your life now is, do you have kids? Are they healthy? Here's how it's going at this point. So that's the first chunk is just 5 minutes. Just tell your story. Here's the deal. Second part is the point of view. And that's where you share, here's what I think is involved in keeping our kids healthy. If you're tired of them being sick, here's why they're sick so much. Here's what we can do. Here's my overall philosophy, like the 30,000-foot view. So, in my workshop, here's the 7 fundamentals. But in this kind of work, you'd have your own version of the 7 fundamentals. Like these are all the elements. The temptation is to just be like, well, what are your questions? Let me rapid fire answer your questions. But then sometimes they leave thinking, oh, that's all there was to know. And they don't even realize there was a whole domain of stuff you never got to because it never came up. So we've got to kind of take the lead and say, if you want your kids to be healthy, here's the most important stuff. And the third part is giving them some sort of experience, some aha, so I'm thinking with this, it could be, or some exercise, something that gives them some insight, that gives them a kind of, so in my workshop, I'll do the thing, everyone put your hands together and push as hard as you can with your hand. And then, so I think a lot of you have seen that one. And that's a visceral experience, but it could be having them journal about something, a little exercise, like when do you notice your kids get sick, or what do you already know you need to change, or what's hardest, anything that can help give them an aha, that's going to be helpful. So that's the third part. And the fourth part is, here's the shameless plug. And the shameless plug could be like, it's just, yeah, feel free to come and see me, but also you could give them some incentive to take that first step, which is, look, if you want to come and see me, the first session is only this price. It's a really low price. And again, if you do drop the risk, then you raise the filters. You're like, but here's what I'm looking for. So please don't book if it's not this. But if you have the sense, like once they come, they're probably going to come back, or they may book a package or something, then it's just worth doing what you can to get them in the door. I mean, I knew a massage therapist, and he cleaned up from Toronto, actually, where he would give people a certificate for a free half-hour massage. No catch. Just email me or call me and book it. But he would set it up so it was only available for 2 weeks. It was only expired in 2 weeks. And he'd give them out to people. Instead of a business card, he'd give these out. And then when people called, he'd say, yeah, absolutely. When do you want to book it? Right. This time he'd say, for $50 or like $25 if you want to add half an hour, $50, we can add an hour pressure. And almost everybody booked another 25 or $25 or $50 on to that. Because they were like, yeah, why not? This is the cheapest hour and a half massage I've ever had. So now he's making money on it. And then at the end of the session, or during there'd be a conversation like, hey, I'd love to work with you more. Here's the packages. Here's no pressure, but here's what I've got. But it got them in the door to see him, because he realized that was the hardest part, was actually getting them in the door to see him. And if he just lowered I'll give one more example of lowering risk. This happened, I can't remember if I shared this story because it was right before, it was in Guelph. But the Guelph Outdoor School, they figured out a way to lower the risk. And it is getting them so many students. And it's so simple. It's a bring a friend day. So kids are playing outdoors with each other, and a few times a year they'd be like, hey, yeah, bring a friend. So they bring a friend from a mainstream public school or something. And the kid, of course, is growing up in a modern society, probably too much screen time. And they're facing all the existential woes that young people face these days. And so the parents can see the light in their kid's eye dimming. But they take them to this forest school, this outdoor school for the day. And when they pick them up at the end of the day, their kid runs towards them with their eyes bright, like, Mom, you wouldn't believe what we did today. It was so cool. We built a fort and we made fire and it was great. So then the parents are just like 9 out of 10. Can my kid join this school? This is amazing. But it got them in the door. Bring a friend for free. So sometimes that first session, but again, I'm not just saying give away sessions for free, because that rarely works. You raise the filters. And the filters can be, hey, are these things true for you? Or it could be, I need you to get this homework done. Maybe it's a little bit of money, but there's still some filters so that you know the people who are coming are likely a good fit. Does that help at all?
Yeah. At my clinic, we can't do that, unfortunately, because I did talk to the owners, but I do offer free 15-minute calls for people if they want to have a better connection with me. I don't know if that would be something that would work. Again, I can't give any medical advice in that session.
Well, the other option is, if you can't do it in the clinic, it might be like, hey, take me out. I do a coffee date or something, or bring your kid, do it out of the clinic. I don't know. But I would just keep thinking about how could you reduce? I mean, a 15-minute call is fine. That's great. And that may be then the thing you offer. Yeah, free 15 minutes, book it. I'm happy to chat with you. Yeah, I might just roll with that then.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you for coming.